Remember those wonderful winters of delicate cascading snow? The soft presence of Jack Frost paying us a visit. The towering Christmas tree decorated with all those colorful lights. And those delightful feelings that felt so permanent, even if only for a season, if not all year. This was the moment to smile, to anticipate, to drink eggnog, and wonder the mysteries that lie under wrapping paper. The toys. The feverish curiosity that only painted plastic can bring. Welcome to ToyCrazy, where only us Kidults can truly smile. Welcome back to the Playpen. That's right, for the 5th episode. And I'm excited about this episode because today's episode is theme-based. You know, and not all of the toys that I bought in this episode is for that theme, but majority of them are. And that is anime. That's right, today's theme is anime. Because, for me, anime played a big part in my life and what I do as a career. And just my early teenhood, from teen to adult. I got into anime actually in the mid to late 80s. And I remember when I got into it, it was not legal in this country. You could only get it at comic book conventions, and sometimes some comic book stores in the back room would sell it to you if they knew you wasn't a cop or somebody trying to bust them, because of whatever legalities that was going on. So anime was hardcore and it was underground, and then all of a sudden there were companies that started to produce them and bring them over here, but they brought them over here cut up. They took a lot of the edginess and a lot of the raunchiness and a lot of the things that made those animes so cool. They just butchered them up to fit them, make them close to what the American public would like. It's sad because what they're really saying is like, we can't handle seeing nudity, we can't handle seeing violence, or even if it's animated, we can't handle any of these things because we have to fit some kind of moral bindings from a Disney perspective of life. I mean, like things that are completely unrealistic. I mean, we go to war, we do stupid things all day long, but that's okay. But when you want to watch something that is interesting to you that may contain those elements such as violence, nudity, sex, then it's prohibited. It's ridiculous. This is what we had a rating system for, is to be able to determine that adults could watch stuff because they can distinguish that it is fiction from a child who can just go wild with their imagination. But here's the irony to that. The same people that pass these ridiculous laws that try to prohibit you from seeing things, having things, or whatever, are the very same people that do it. How many presidents or senators, governors have been caught for sexual deviancy, crazy sexual acts, and all kinds of stuff? I mean, it's insane. So what gives these guys the right to police you? Who's policing them? Their shit is all fucked up. All of these guys throughout history have been busted for all of this sexual crap, nonsense that they have done, molesting children, women, everything. But nobody really gets them. But then these are the same assholes that pass the laws. How does that work?
Kaioken, attack!
Another thing I want to also share with you guys too is that there was two things that I wanted to say before we get into the toys. Number one, I made a mistake on the last episode when I talked about that show, when I was talking about when I met one of the creators, Eastman from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of the creators of that series, as well as the Ginger and Billy D. Williams, Rutger Hauer, and all of that. That show actually took place in the early 2000s, because when I actually started to do comic books on my own, it happened in the early 2000s. I actually started literally on 9/11. That's right, kidults. Mustard Seed Comics was born on 9/11. The day of that terrible tragedy. How crazy is that? See, originally I had drawn an ash can that I wanted to have for a comic book convention in Philadelphia. I formatted it, had it already kind of set on like 8.5 by 11 or something like that, or 9 by 12, I'm not too sure. And you fold it up, you print it double sides, and you saddle stitch it and have a nice color cover, black and white interiors. And I did all of the work and took it over to Kinko's, and I was waiting for it to be ready so that once it's printed up and everything is set, then I can take it back and saddle stitch it, cut it, and get it prepared for the show in Philadelphia. But the day that I was able to get those prints was on 9/11. And I remember that day. I remember that because I was working on another book to it, and my mother had gave me a call and she said, "Turn on the TV." And I'm going to be honest with you guys, when I first saw that, I did not believe this was a real terrorist attack. I believe that this was a manufactured event to steer the future events from that point on. That's what I believe. I never believed it was a terrorist attack from Muslims or some kind of regime or group or anything. This was a false flag event that was staged. There's enough evidence to support that. It's not just a theory. It's too much proof to support that this was a staged event to pass some executive orders to rob the American people of their privacy and freedoms and things like that. However, that's for you to believe or not. Because in this world, people will believe, the most ridiculous stuff like COVID-19, people believe that. How many people have died? More people have died taking the vaccination shots than people were saved. The narrative will always make sure that seems to be not the truth. That is all conspiracy theories and so on and so forth. So the reality is people are going to believe what they want to believe, but the truth will stand steadfast. When you know that this country has staged everything from the moon landing, this country is built on lies and death and destruction. So that being said, what is it called again? It's MAGA, right? Make America Great Again. Let's be clear. When has America ever been great? This country was founded on stealing lands from the Native Americans, slaughtering almost 60 million of these people, putting them on reservations, bringing slaves from other countries over to here, including white slaves, over to this country to build up America. But considering those white cats cannot do all of that work out in the sun, black folks built up this country, had to fight for their rights to even be considered human in any kind of a way. Still never really got those rights, but just enough so they can move on. So when has America ever been great? You got to think too, Trump has done everything to expose this country, not because he's a good guy, not because he's trying to make America great again. He's trying to restore America to the evil country that it became once these Europeans came over here, for the terrible, racist, barbaric country that this country is. The second thing I wanted to mention before we get into the toys was in that last episode when I was saying how I changed my mind on Trump and I'm giving him a chance. Me changing my mind on Trump is not what it appears to seem like I'm going along with his plans and his ideals about this country. No, it just means that what can I do? There's nothing I could do about the choices he makes, the decisions he makes in regards to this country, the policies that he implements, the executive orders he signs, and all of this dumb shit. It's nothing I could do about it. It's like if somebody did you a wrong, you find yourself saying, I forgive them so that you can move on. And that's basically the point that I was saying, because I don't agree with the terrible things that this guy is doing as far as the deportation of people. And then it strikes me as odd too on that, because you have like the Asian community and the Hispanic community and the Indian community and a lot of other types of people that were always against black folks and always wanted to be white and tried so hard, because you had Asians that always trying to be white. You had Hispanics, and the lighter they are, the closer they are to white, they feel like they're more acceptable. Then you have the Indians too. And I'm like, Indians who are even most of the time darker than black people, still like, yeah, I'm not black. And all of this nonsense. And yet, how's that white stuff doing for you?
Signs of Japanese American culture are all around LA's Little Tokyo neighborhood. So is the damage left behind by the small group of vandals that emerged during protests against recent immigration enforcement.
And it's just alarming to see all the different ways that they are capturing these people, the way they're being treated.
Brian Keto and his family have run a business in LA for more than 120 years. He says watching video of ICE agents arresting people on the streets across Southern California is more troubling given his family's history with Japanese internment during World War II.
A wave of disappointment.
Mi hija no puede ver a su papá.
One of President Donald Trump's most loyal voting blocs, Cuban and Venezuelan immigrants. Now speaking out in Miami, a Republican stronghold, as the recent wave of deportations hits home and the Trump administration moved to end temporary legal status, or TPS, for more than 500,000 people who arrived during the Biden administration.
That's the exact reason why this is a problem. Whenever there's a problem, Asian people go, oh my God.
No, they want to stay away from that. They don't want to be grouped in with these people. Asian people don't want to focus on the negativity and, say what they're really thinking. Deport, right? Deport illegal immigrants.
He is the embodiment of the model minority, which was created to pit Asians against other marginalized groups, rewarding obedience, silence, and hard work with crumbs of white approval. And he ate that up. Tap dancing for people who don't even want you here. No matter how hard you try to prove you hate yourself more than they ever could, and try so hard to distance yourself from the very people who fought for the rights that you now leech off of. You can grovel all you want for white validation, but you'll never earn validation from the same people who call you Kung Flu and China virus. Remember that? Kung Flu and China virus? You are not native. So how do you think it is that you were able to come to the United States? You think it was the whites who just kindly handed you an invite into our country out of the kindness of their heart? No, you got here because black and brown people, far braver than you, bled in the streets.
How's that working out for you? Because they deporting you like it ain't nothing. Because in the end of the day, how can you support a racist people? And that's not to say that all my light-skinned brothers and sisters out there that would be considered white are racist, but to say the ones that are, to speak of them. How can you go along with deportation? What gives them the right to deport anyone?
What's your name, sir? Say your name. Are you from here? Oh my God, they're just taking this man. I see you. Dude, you guys.
How's that white approval doing for you, my Asian brothers? Because somewhere down the line, you done got delusional and stuff. You thought you was down. You thought they accepted you. How's that working out? Also, too, what happened to your heritage, man? What about Hiroshima?
During protocol.
You forgot about that, right? But you want to be down. You want to be down with the same people that are murderous to even their own people, enslave even their own people, and then do the most horrible things. Nearly 60 million Native Americans dead. How many blacks almost equal to that close to that they've killed in this country? Towns that they fully drowned. What about Central Park, that used to be a thriving black town, that they just murdered those people and then turned it into Central Park in New York? What about all of those things? And you want to be white? Is that it? Is that how it works? Well, good luck with that. So now that we covered that I'm not really for Trump, I'm just moving on because it's none of my business. It's nothing I could do. And on top of that, I feel like God has been doing his rounds to prove over and over that he's getting them. Last thing I'm going to say on this. What about what happened over there in Texas? My heart again goes out to those innocent children that died, but let's look at the facts. The facts is the people that own that land, whites, racist whites, because that's a sundown town over there, that had the rich kids go over there to that place that blacks weren't permitted. They're the ones truly responsible for everybody's death. Why? Because they owned the land. They knew that it was a flood zone. They didn't want to pay. Didn't want to pay the premiums, so they redid the map and everything like that. And you know what happened? All these people died. Are they going to be held accountable?
Catastrophic flooding hit central Texas in the early hours of July 4th. More than an entire summer's worth of rain fell in some parts of the state in just a matter of a few hours. That quickly formed a wall of rushing water, sweeping away cars, toppling trees, and ripping homes from their foundations. At the time of this taping, well over 100 people had died, and Texas officials had announced that more than 100 people were still unaccounted for.
And you tell me God ain't doing his rounds? And what about over there in Shantown, North Carolina? Because whenever God throws a storm, he got to make sure it pays a visit to North Carolina, one of the most racist states in America. And that town in itself is, if I'm not mistaken, named after a KKK dude. So, you know, God got to pay a visit.
Far. We know it made landfall as a tropical storm in South Carolina before making its way into North Carolina, and forecasters are saying it overperformed while there. A state of emergency has been declared in Moore County, North Carolina, where some towns picked up anywhere from around 9 inches of rain in a short amount of time. But we'll have really the exact numbers there from the National Weather Service office in Raleigh, and we know evacuations have been called in several towns yesterday because of the damage that we're seeing there. There have been dozens of water rescues across the state too, including more than 50 in Chapel Hill, which obviously a very populated area. We know at least 60 people there are displaced from their homes because of this. And then once Chantal makes its way into DC and moves out of here.
So as I always say, how's that racism working out? Because it just really don't seem like it's working out, because God got that though.
When Sanu Thadani Israni bought a house in this neighborhood in California's Silicon Valley, she found something disturbing in the fine print of her home deed.
The language that I read basically said the only people allowed to live in this community, in these homes, are white, unless you're a servant.
The subdivision is called Ladera, and the racist covenants were attached to the deeds of all 500-some homes here. The rules are no longer enforceable or even legal, but they've been on the books since the neighborhood was laid out 70 years ago. And they help illustrate how so many of America's suburbs ended up segregated.
It hurts. It hurts to be told you're not welcome.
How's that racism working out?
The family of Andrea Velez, a U.S. citizen, described her arrest by ICE last month as a kidnapping. Andrea had just been dropped off at work by her mom and her sister when the pair witnessed masked federal agents grabbing her and taking Andrea in an unmarked car during an immigration raid. One video shows a masked agent lifting Andrea off the ground and carrying her away.
And I don't take no pleasure, again, out of saying this, but I'm saying, why is God getting them? Because they think that they're safe. They think that these racist white towns is their salvation. And then to make it even worse, white folks are an invention. They're not even real. They're just light-skinned people that some elitists thought that this is the way to create a class system by calling them white people. And then from there was the justification to be evil, horrible, and inhuman from before that, but then even more so after that.
White people don't really exist if you think about it, because if race is a construct and whiteness, from my estimation, is something that is a bleaching of culture and it's a bleaching of identity. So to say someone is like a white person, if you think of yourself as a white person, you've already been colonized and probably for thousands of years.
So the king in England was quite happy to have them sign a contract of indenture to then go work in the British colonies. And that is what happened. Both indentured and enslaved persons, according to historian Edmund Morgan, were sold and traded like cattle. In colonial North America at this time were British men, British workers, the vast majority. There were some women, there were some European laborers from Portuguese, Dutch, folks from Ireland and from Scotland are also revealed in the records. Free men of African descent could own servants or slaves, and they did. They could vote, and they did. They could marry persons of the opposite sex. God, and I love that I have to make that qualification now. Woo! They could marry persons of the opposite sex regardless of national origin, and they did. In fact, marriages between men of African descent and women primarily of British descent were not uncommon at all. They passed a law in 1664 punishing, and I quote, British and other freeborn women who marry enslaved Negro men. These are laws that punished or prohibited marriage between, notice that white people didn't exist yet in 1664, at least as referenced in that law. We see a further step in locating patriarchal power squarely among and within white men. Virginia lawmakers wrote letters to the oversight authority in London explaining that they intended to pursue a divide and conquer strategy in order to prevent future rebellion. It's only after Bacon's Rebellion that we see the emergence of white people as a group of humanity. Let's think about this for a minute. 1681, some lawmakers invent a new label for a group of people.
So technically, white people are new. They're new to the neighborhood. They just haven't been really good neighbors. But I digress. We are here for toys. And I know you probably asking, what the fuck does this shit got to do with toys? Everything. The tariffs, all of this that affects the Asian products that come over here, because who makes the toys but the Asians over there? You know what I mean? They make most of the toys that come over here to the state. So it has everything to do with it. And also too, this show is about toys and adult conversations, hence Kidults. So to be clear, it isn't just about toys so we can drift off in fantasy. It's also about us being adults and having dialogue about the world we live in. So that being said, I think I drove that point home real good. Let's get on with the toys.
Nick!
Get away now. You have to keep Mr. Myhart alive.
Amazing. Alright, we're here to talk about toys. What I love about anime, right, is it took the art form of which kind of seemed like it was intended for kids in a way. You know, it's animated, it's drawn, it's colorful. It took that art form and it went further than we could imagine. It took stories and it took ideas and concepts and it really fleshed it out. And I think that's the best part about art and why it's sad that in so many ways it's restricted, it's misinterpreted, it's shackled in the chains of fake morality and beliefs in life. And it's terrible because the beauty of art is that it is an expression. It comes from our dreams, from a deep place within ourselves. And when we stifle that and try to tame it and control it, we really we kill a part of ourselves. And that's what we're doing. That's what we've been doing all this time, is killing the beauty of art. See, the best part about being an adult, or in this case a kiddo, is that you understand that it's art, that it's expression. But not to get into all of that, I just wanted to share that with you about the beauty of art, the beauty of anime, the beauty that is in this day and age is dying. We are losing our imagination. We're losing our love of life. We're losing our love of the mystery. Let's not do that. Let's just humble ourselves to know that we don't know. And sometimes in that humility, we rediscover the magic of life. So in this toy haul, I got some goodies. So to start that off, we're gonna head over to Funko Pop and check out these cool character figurines, these vinyl figures of one of my favorite animes, Inuyasha. And you can't start it off without the lead character, and that's Inuyasha. You know, it's funny about this character. He was such an odd character because he seemed to come off like an anti-hero, like a villain, but really he was just misunderstood. And he didn't understand a lot of things. He just knew that he was thrusted into a world where he felt like he needed to have power. He needed to be strong because he was always being felt weak. being bullied and intimidated by others, so he had to find the strength. But the best part about Inuyasha's character, he found out that his strength was in the love of a girl. Very cool toy. I love the way it looks with his sword. Yeah. And he looks like he's ready for battle. Very cool toy, man. I was very pleased with this one.
Give me this! Kaede!
You must stop this madness. Inuyasha is not your enemy.
Open your eyes. You too have been taken in by this deceitful monster.
You are mistaken.
Hand me your arrows.
I'll do no such thing.
Kaede! Show loyalty to your flesh and blood, not to some devious, lying half-breed.
Next up, we got Kikyo. Now, Kikyo was a complex character, still is, even in the anime, because Kikyo was like a powerful sorceress, protector of the people. However, she wanted a life for herself, so much so that she was so fragile about it that when she found Inuyasha and she thought that she would have that life, it didn't take much of nothing for her to assume the worst about him and to literally demonize him and become one of his most greatest adversaries. I love the way she looks. They got this like translucent dragon or whatever, spirit dragon, like circling her. Very cool look to her. I like the way they chose the design. Very cool. Next up.
Hey there. What you doing? Oh, wow. Like dog ears. I think I wanna touch them. Now that that's out of my system.
Kagome. Now, Kagome to me was really always, in every sense of the way, the right woman for Inuyasha. It was like Kikyo could have been that, but she wasn't because Kikyo did not believe in the love. Her love wasn't strong. Her hate was strong. Her hate for herself, her hate that she didn't have a life, and that was just craziness. But with Kagome was like this cool-ass character that she was very loving. She comes from a loving family. She was a loving person, and she had her quirks and her, dysfunctions, if you will. But despite all of that, her love for Inuyasha and her love of doing what's right made her the better woman than Kikyo. So Kagome all around was a better character and the right fit for him. I like that. She looks serious. I look at the design. She looks really cool. She's ready to shoot some bows. She's ready to get done. She's ready to find those jewel shards. I love the way they design. You gotta give it to Funko Pop. Next up, Sango. Sango was like to me, she was like an interesting character because she had a softness in her, but she kind of masqueraded it with this kind of tough exterior where she had to like kind of be strong for the sake of her village, for the sake of the skills and the skill set that she learned. But deep inside, she just wanted to be a normal woman. And I love the way she looks. All of the characters are very cool. Like she's holding her boomerang. She's ready to just throw that shit. Very cool design. I like it. You look around front and back. And I love the way these just like very small characters, but like very detailed. Everything is painted well. It looks very good. Next up.
Wait, where are you going, Moroku?
Would you consider bearing my children?
Surely you jest with me, my itinerant monk.
Not at all. I assure you I'm entirely serious.
Morocco was to me like one of the funniest characters on this show because he's a good guy. There's no doubt on that. Despite his perversion, Because he's perverted and shit. He wants to sleep with every woman he sees and wants them to bear his children and all of this type of stuff. And then at the same time, he's on this vengeance tent against Narako, who basically doomed him and his family or whatever, his people. So it's like, it's really cool. Then he's cursed with this hand that just like absorbs everything in it, unless you have these bees that somehow can be the weakness. They like the kryptonite to him. Very cool character in the series. I guess in a way they was kind of writing that to kind of symbolize how a lot of preachers are today. You know, it's like, yeah, they may be good, but that side of shade there. I like the way he looks. He got his staff. Looks very cool. His little pokey hair. His sandal feetsies and shit. Very cool character. Love the design.
Sango, I was wondering if you would give me a foot massage.
A foot massage? What do you mean a foot massage?
Well, my toes are crusty and they need a little bit of work.
A foot massage? That's what you really want?
Well, what did you have in mind?
Never mind.
No, what did you have in mind? I take that before I forget about the foot massage. Sango!
Inuyasha, your patience with this creature is astonishing to me. You protect her, indulge her, even seem to love her. Certainly these feelings of mercy of yours are not something I inherited from our great and terrible father.
Next up, Shishomaru. Now, Shishomaru was probably my favorite character on here because he had the smoothness and he wasn't as rough and as sometimes over the top as a half-brother Inuyasha, but he was more smooth and refined and trying to figure things out too. It's like him and his brother was basically in the same boat. He was a full demon. However, at the same time, he's trying to figure things out. He's trying to gain his strength and to surpass his father in power, only to find himself in a bigger quest. Very cool character, very complicated. And I liked the way they designed him, like how he looks right here. It's like he looks comfortable with himself. You know what I mean? Like he looks comfortable. He's in his pose. He's not stressed, and whatever, he's ready to do whatever. Very cool design. Really like it. Like the little pink stripes on his face, on his cheeks. Funko Pop did a very cool design with this one. Next up.
Lord Sesshomaru appears to be wounded.
We got Jockin, Shishomaru's lackey. Jockin was a funny character to me because Jockin was like this, like devout, dogmatic, like he was so put like Shishomaru on this pedestal, and Shishomaru pretty much didn't really care about him. I mean, he did, in a fraction, a little bit, but really he didn't, you know what I mean? And this guy was just so committed and devoted to Shishomaru, like no matter, Shishomaru, that's all this crazy ass shit, man. It was just funny, like how that worked. Like he was just so committed no matter what. He would set him up, leave him for dead, whatever. It didn't matter. Jockin was gonna stay loyal and committed to his Shishomaru.
Shishomaru? I have a plan to get the Tsuga from Inuyasha.
No, Jockin. I need you to find Ren. It's time for her to eat her Cheerios and watch some TV.
But what about me, Shishomaru? I want to watch TV and eat Cheerios.
It's not about you, Jockin. Find Ren, or I'll chop your head off.
But Shishomaru! Shishomaru!
Next up, Ren. Ren was this kind of odd place character. She was like this little girl who was like a mute, and she was just somehow her whole village, something happened to her. I forgot how the story goes. Something happened to her. I think she got revived by Shishomaru through the sword. And she just followed him, and because you never really knew where she was coming from.
Ren, did you enjoy your Cheerios and your cartoons? I take it you have. Let's go.
Hey, wait for me!
Shishomaru? I mean, why you can't wait for me? Shishomaru! Now, there's like 5 more characters that I want to get in this series that I haven't got. I just picked up these right here. And then I probably get these 5, and then that should be it. I mean, you never know. Because for me, there's a difference between being a collector and a hoarder. I don't have to have everything. I don't have to have all the collection of everything, and I don't have to have all these pieces because it's not that deep for me. Now we're going to head over to Mattel and check out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we challenged hotshot Dick Tchaikovsky to play the Mattel Electronics football game. Dick doesn't know, inside is a tiny thinking computer that plays like a whole team of pros. Dick's got the ball, but that computer defense is tough. He drives up the middle, stopped cold. 1 yard. Now Dick cuts left, down the sidelines, touchdown! Mattel Electronics Pocket Football with the built-in computer.
Hey, who's in there?
That's right, man. Mattel, man. They came out with now this was way before. This was the precursor to like Game Boy and Nintendo's Game Boy and all these little pocket handhelds. And they got a whole lot of that shit now. Whole bunch of Chinese ones and ones now that have like all kinds of games in them. And that's cool and all that. People would play games on their phones. But back then, when I was growing up, you had these things. You had to imagine. You see the little lights and the little sounds and stuff, and you had to imagine what it's actually doing. And I thought that was kind of cool because the lack thereof made your imagination be bigger.
Ladies and gentlemen, we challenged hotshot Jimmy Powell to play the new Mattel Electronics basketball game. Jimmy doesn't know, inside is a tiny thinking computer that plays like a whole team of pros.
All right.
Jimmy's got the ball. The computer defends the bucket. He fakes left, dribbles right, shoots. Blocked. Now, the clock's running. He breaks inside. Paul scores. New Mattel Electronics Pocket Basketball with the built-in computer.
Hey, who's in there?
Of course, you can't have the football without the basketball. Come on now. And this was before NBA Jam and all of that type of shit when it was just this little cheesy box with these sounds and the little lights and shit. But it was awesome because your mind imagined these guys dunking and doing all of this cool ass shit. Man, I remember this, man. I used to play it and it was fun, and then you put it down and then you come back to it. All of this type of shit. Very fucking cool, man. I was happy to get these. They were a bit pricey, because I guess I came at it a little bit late. Probably was cheap when it first came out, and then after a while they become an item. Like anything, it starts to increase in value, and this priceless to me. Next up, we gonna get down with some Kirby. We gotta keep it back with the anime. Look at Kirby, man. Kirby is like this funny character because there's not much to him. He's just like this big ass blob, kind of similar to Pac-Man. He got some feetsies and some big ass eyes and a mouth that could suck shit in and absorb it and become it and what all of this other type of shit. Kirby is a cool ass character. And that, again, Kirby is like a testimony of just creativity. You don't need much, but if you have the love in your heart, the creativity and that beauty that you want to share with the world, that's what brings out the magic, man. And then something as simple as a big old pink glob as this with feetsies and a little bit of arms and shit and some big ass glossy eyes can be that appealing to make all these Nintendo Switch games. I don't know if they're coming out with Nintendo Switch 2 games of this, Nintendo games. I mean, Kirby has been around like just almost as long as Mario. Next up, Nurato. This is from the Shippuden series. The character's cool, it's 12 inches, pretty nice size. Not much articulation, just kind of a little bit movements here and there, but that's not what I bought it for. I bought it for because I like the character, I like the series, and it looks cool. I like the box. It's by a company called Anime Heroes Mega. They make other characters from other animes, so you might want to check them out. I found this on Amazon.
Next up, Mega Man. Mega Man is a cool character and a strange character for me because, like, Mega Man went through all of these transitions because Mega Man actually was a man, not a kid like they have it now, you know? Like, he was a man that was in this metal suit and everything, and then he went from Mega Man to Mega Boy, but they kept the name as Mega Man. It's weird. Very cool, though. I love this, and this is another series, like, you know, and it's so weird with Nintendo, because Nintendo, like, has a lot of great IPs, a lot of great characters, very cool stuff. However, the company itself is just, I don't know what it is. They just got this thing against their fans or people that buy their stuff. They like really over the top. All this suing and all of this stuff that they're doing. I understand you got to protect your stuff. You got to protect your characters. You got to protect your stuff. I get it. But at the same time, how far are you willing to go? Are you willing to ruin somebody's life and take all they have and put them in all kinds of trouble over that? Over something like this? That's where I fall out of Nintendo with that, because I think as a company, as a company in their relation to their fans, they're horrible. It looks like the piece fell down. It probably fell down into the bottom over there. But yeah, it looks cool. Now we're gonna get into some games now, like Simon.
Simon sets the pace. You follow right along. Light the lights that Simon lights, or he'll tell you that you're wrong. Simon's a computer. Simon has a brain. You either do what Simon says, or else go down the drain. Simon is a master. He tells you what to do, but you can master Simon if you follow every clue. And if you think Simon's fun at a party, wait till you play it alone.
Simon with 5 ways to play from MB Electronics.
Now, these games, what I love about these games like this, these board games and Simon and all of this type of stuff, is that this was a game that you can actually physically touch, manipulate, and, you know, you hit the sounds and all of this type of stuff. It's not like, you know, because everything's video games now. Everything is like controllers and you looking at a screen, but these were tangible items that you could move around, have some kind of, you know, input on your own on it. Well, that's what I like about it. And I could look at it and hold it in my hand. Very cool. Next up, the ultimate, man, Operation.
Okay, let's operate. Operate. Where's the dog?
It's Operation, the Wacky Doctor's game where you're the wacky doctor. Batteries not included.
I blew it. My turn. Take out asparagus for $100.
It takes a steady hand because if you touch the side...
Here goes his funny bone. Don't get nervous. I did it. That's $200.
Operation, a game from Milton Bradley.
This was one of those games, man, me and my cousin Felicia, we used to play all the time. I think I played this with my moms too, a couple other family members, but this was one of my favorite games because it really required a lot of skill to just go in there and pick out the bones and to do all of this stuff without hitting the buzzer on the side. That was this fun shit, because when you hit, no, you know, like it's too fucking cool. Then the little nose light up and shit. This was a cool game. I had to get this in my collection because I had too many cool memories having this game as a kid. And then I got this version because it's kind of close to the original box. Love it, man. Definitely one of my favorite purchases here. Next up, since we're getting into board games and things like this, is Rock'em Sock'em.
I can be any kid on the block. Oh, yeah? Yeah.
They're slugging it out. A left to the jaw, and...
Oh, my block is knocked off.
But you can press it right back on. It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Press this lever. He throws a right, the other a left. Knock his block off. You're the winner.
Wait till next time.
You can Rock'em Sock'em with the Rock'em Sock'em Robots by Marx.
Rock'em Sock'em is a cool-ass game. It's like a boxing game, and you on the other side, you got the red and the blue opponent, and you got to keep so this is a cool-ass game. This is like a plastic version of Rocky on steroids. This shit is a fun-ass game. I had to get this. This was definitely one that I have so many great memories with. I love the box. I love the way they try to keep it close to the original. I love that. Definitely. And I think if you're going to do rehashments like this or bring them back, try to keep it to what people remember. You could maybe do 2 versions of it, one more modern and one like this, but keep the original, man, because that's what people are going to remember. That's what people are going for. Next up, Jumanji. And then this is so funny because Jumanji is actually based off of a movie. It was never a board game. And then all of a sudden, the movie was so successful that they actually made board games out of it. Now, the one I bought is not, there's one that actually looks like the movie where it has that style of it. This one is more of a flat board game, like, kind of a traditional board game, but not like what you saw in the movie. But they do sell that version of it. But it doesn't matter for me. This is just cool and it's just fun to play. It's not that serious. To me, it's always about the fun factor. And it's cool. I love the box. The box is very detailed. The game is really cool. This one I did open up, but not gonna do it on here, but I did open it up just to look inside, see what it's like. Very cool purchase. Next up, the Viewmaster.
What are you doing? Looking for a Cabbage Patch Kid. Silly, look at my Viewmaster viewer. Hey, the Cabbage Patch Kids in 3D. They're being kidnapped. See, now Xavier is trying to save them.
You can see the complete 3D Cabbage Patch adventure in a Viewmaster gift set. Other gift sets include Michael Jackson and Masters of the Universe, each sold separately. The Cabbage Patch gift set comes with 3D viewer and 3 Viewmaster reel.
Now, the Viewmaster to me was like, I had these when I was a kid. And I always had fun with them. You put the little slides in there and they give them different pictures, and it's so weird how these things all seem retro, but to me they're like a capsule. They're like a capsule of history. This is like before all of the shit that we have now, where we can just look in phones and video games, all this shit, man. This was like back then when everything was just new and they were trying to figure shit out. I don't know if I may open it. This is like one that I'm kind of torn. Maybe one day I'll open it just to take it out. But I just love it. I think this is very cool. Maybe if I buy another one. And I'm just really happy with this purchase. That's right, man. Fucking Voltron, man.
Gotta hurry. Form Voltron. Activate interlock. Dinotherms connected. Infracells on. Mega thrusters are go. Voltron! Form feet and legs. Form arms and body. I'll form the head. Voltron ready.
Voltron was one of the fucking coolest ass fucking animes, cartoons when I grew up. And it was funny because I remember this cartoon when I was younger, right? Like, it always felt, even back then, my spiritual mind knew that it was cut up. Like, there was things that they edited out because, it was too rough for the Disney American audience, that we can't handle things, because we can't understand nothing. We have to be sheltered from the truth and have to get approvals from the government and all that. Fuck you, man. In the end, this shit was a fucking cool ass cartoon. And then what I had to get it because I remember, like, back then they had like the old one and it was called Lion Bot or some shit. There was always like these like Chinese shops, like, Asian shops that they would have, and they would have all of these toys in there, like toys that you wouldn't find in like a Woolworth or Macy's or Toys R Us, you wouldn't find these toys in there unless they got so popular and they demanded it. Other than that, you would find them in these little shops. That's how I knew about the Transformers when they was called Diaclones. Originally, it wasn't called Voltron. It was called Go Lion. Then there was another version of it that was called Voltron Vehicle Fort.
The legend of Voltron, Defender of the Universe. A mighty robot, loved by good, feared by evil.
That one was very cool too. This box is fucking massive. This is a massive ass box. Look at this shit, man. This shit is so big I have to get up and move the camera around and just try to open it up. And it has like a little Velcro thing that you can so if you open it up so you can see the actual toy itself without having to necessarily take it out of the box, and then you can close it and it'll stick back to the Velcro. Very cool, man. And these are big figures. I wish they would have had the characters though in this set. Like, instead of just having the Voltron, the lions that form the robot, I wish they would have had like the figures that was from the anime, so they can put them in there. That would have made this that would have topped it off. That would have made this the superior version of this toy series. But I love it. This fucking box is big. God damn. Look at this shit, man. Fucking massive box. Love it, man. Definitely my favorite purchase on this fucking show right now, because this is Voltron, man. Voltron was the coolest shit when they fucking joined together and became Voltron. That's what you waited for. That was the whole purpose of this fucking shit. Then once they that's all you needed to hear. So after this commercial break, we'll let you know what's going on and have my final thoughts. We'll be back after these messages.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, coconut and munchy nuts too. Mounds got deep dark chocolate and chewy coconut. Ooh. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Peter Paul, Almond Joy's got nuts, Peter Paul, Mounds don't. Because sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Hey!
Yes?
You look like a real jerk.
Well, I am a corporate executive.
He stops exciting things from happening.
So what you doing?
Well, Muffy, Buffy, Biff Jr. and I are going on our Sunday drive.
Oh, no, you're not. You're going to play pole position!
Look what happens when you buy 3 boxes of Purina Cat Chow. You get 1 box free. Purina Cat Chow. Chow, chow, chow.
Buy 3 bags of Purina Cat Chow and get a coupon good for 1 bag free.
Purina Cat Chow. Chow, chow, chow.
No matter what size you buy, you can mail in proofs of purchase and get a coupon good for 1 free.
Purina Cat Chow. Chow, chow, chow.
So, buy any 3 Purina Cat Chow now and get 1 free.
Chow, chow, chow.
You can be brave when a friend needs a hand. With Care Bear Cousins, helping feels grand.
It's 3 of the Care Bear Cousins, each sold separately.
Spotlight's ready, Gentle Heart Lamb. The Bright Heart Raccoon. I forgot my line. Think positively and you'll be great. Right, Brave Heart Lion? Yup. She just needed a little courage.
Kids by the dozens love the Care Bear cousins.
Each sold separately, Bright Heart Raccoon, Gentle Heart Lamb, and Braveheart Lion are Care Bear cousins from Kenner.
Why are women so happy about new Tickle antiperspirant? Is it because Tickle is the first roll-on with a big, wide ball? Is it because Tickle comes in 4 fresh fragrances? Or is it because Tickle helps keep you dry all day? Make yourself happy. Staying drier is nicer with a little Tickle.
Now, on your breakfast table, Donkey Kong brand cereal.
Crunchy berries are fun for breakfast. Donkey Kong cereal.
The sweet, crunchy corn taste will drive you ape.
You love the crunch. Donkey Kong cereal. Crunchy berries are fun for breakfast.
It's part of this complete breakfast.
Donkey Kong cereal. You love the crunch.
We're back. It's that time. It's that time. Time to go. Oh, my dears, it's that time that we walk on separate lines. It's okay. There are other days that we can be intertwined. So don't you never mind. All right, now let's tally all this shit up. All of this cool Funko Pop goodness, board games, and a whole bunch of cool stuff. Let's tally it up. Yeah, that's the damage. $702.10. Not too bad. Very cool, though. Totally pleased with it. And before I go, I know I probably upset some of you guys. You know how it is. Because when you tell people the truth and you mention things that are uncomfortable, you know how it is. People get upset. Their feelings get hurt. They're mad and they want to lash out. You know how the world works. But let's be clear here. I don't care if you subscribe to me. I never asked you to. I don't care if you follow me. I'm just putting out entertainment and good things for you. And also, too, giving all of you a chance to have, the kidults out there, to have a chance to talk with somebody that may think like you. Or if you don't think like me, and you're not asking questions, at least there's a friend out there, a kidult out there, that's asking questions for you, and maybe you can join in on the conversation. Have some input. Because I look at it like this. If I gotta live in this crazy-ass world with predominantly crazy and insane people that think they're normal, then I gotta call you on it. I have to. I have to call you on the insane shit that I have to see every fucking day. Stuff like you guys living on the Gregorian calendar. You guys going by Chronos time instead of Kairos time. The fact that from birth you learn how to spell, so you casting spells without even knowing it. The fact that you live in a 7-day week, that each day of the week is named after a god, and you don't even know that. Or most of you don't. And all the insane shit, the religious madness, the governmental madness, and the states and people. Oh God, I feel crazy just talking about that shit because it's insanity. And people don't even realize that they're just not understanding that this is a mind game, a mind fuck. Because once they can control your mind, they can get into your heart, and then from there, steer your actions. So yeah, I do want to have some adult conversations from time to time. At the same time, talk about toys and all of those goodies. You know what I mean. So if I haven't pissed you off, and you actually get what I'm saying, then that's cool, man. Thanks for being a friend and for stopping by at my playpen.
But if I upsetted you and offended you and your precious feelings or your mind was blown, I'm sorry. But you can always visit and stop by the next time I go shopping. See you then. Wow, that was fun. I guess the world isn't such a bad place after all. Look, no one likes to say goodbyes. No one likes to see things come to an end. So let's just say, we'll see you again. Take care, everybody.